Hi there, it's Jen from modernmedicinelady.com and the Empathic Woman System, and the word of the day is exertion. So it's been a really remarkable day, and I've had a chance to spend quite a bit of time in contemplation and just sitting with all of my thoughts and feelings and what's going on for me right now. And this day's been a real gift. I woke up feeling kind of sick to my stomach. So plans that I had got changed. And as a result, it gave me a chance to kind of reflect and be present with that feeling. And what I realized was that this feeling of being sick to my stomach was kind of literally just everything that's going on in the world around me, and especially all of the divisiveness and all of the hatred and the anger and the meanness that I'm seeing. It doesn't compute in one way, like it just doesn't make sense to me, but it also just really sickens me. Like it was like literally making me feel sick to my stomach. And so I sat with those feelings and I sat with that awareness and I just kept going in deeper to it. And eventually what I realized was how much exertion I have been putting into sort of my attempt to keep the world in balance. I know, right? I'm a human being, one single person. It's like, how in God's name am I going to be able to keep things stable? And yet, I realized just like this deep sense of urgency that I've been feeling, and this deep sense of the need to keep things stabilized and to keep things balanced. And I tend to think in terms of visuals. I tend to think in terms of like metaphors and analogies, as you probably know if you've watched many of my words of the day. And so the sense I had was, it was like if we thought about the world right now as sort of this core of energy that's kind of rattling and rumbling and wobbling right now. And then there are all of these people who are points of balance and counterbalance all around it, who are all exerting all of this energy and all of this force and all of this will to try to bring things into balance. And it's like a tractor beam or a set of training wheels or something, or a kind of a gyroscope where you've got this outer ring and then you've got this inner center. And what I started to realize was that as long as there's this attempt from the outside to control the core itself never has the opportunity to sort of wobble and even shake itself loose and find its way to center, find its way to core. And I know that I've been hearing a lot of people talking about one of the biggest problems that we have right now is this idea of polarization, is this idea of duality, of this drawing lines in the sand and being like, you're on one side of this, I'm on the other side of this. And part of me has been really noticing that I've been feeling more polarized, like more like, well, I don't agree with you, therefore we have nothing in common. And what I've realized is that the challenge with polarization and the challenge with the attempt to balance things is that, in a way, as stuff gets more intense in the core, the outside gets more intense too in response to it. And what I am understanding for myself is that in order for the core to truly find its way to balance, we've got to let it wobble right now. It's not going to, no amount of pressure or exertion from the outside is going to allow the center to find its way. And while it may seem really scary, it may seem really intense, because in a way it's almost like right now we're in the process of going from riding around on a trike or riding around on a bike with training wheels to suddenly being like, we need to learn how to ride without the training wheels. And that means that it's going to be a little bumpy. That means that it's going to be a little wobbly. That means that it may be a little strange as we learn how to move forward from the core instead of with this sort of external force and exertion that's holding it together. So I realize this is like really probably kind of metaphoric and maybe way the hell out there and may sound really woo. So I'm going to try to talk about it more from a standpoint of personal. And that is, where in your life are you trying to exert so much pressure, so much energy, so much force to try to get something to stay a certain way? In what places in your life, in what places in my life, and in my life it's been really just trying to keep it together to not be distressed about what's happening with this planet, particularly what's happening with our current administration. I have just been exerting an incredible amount of energy. And what I understand and I'm realizing is that this is not sustainable, as well as this ultimately does not serve me because I'm focused on trying to control something instead of letting itself find its way to rightness. And so my question to you is, where are you exerting an incredible amount of energy to try to get something to stay a certain way? Where are you finding yourself like trying to will things to be what you think they need to be? And I guess I would say, how well is that working for you? I can certainly tell you it's not been working super well for me. And what would it be like to drop the training wheels? What would it be like to drop the tractor beams? What would it be like to just let go of those tethers of counterbalances and turn deeply within, turn towards the center, and sit with that pure heart of light and just the place of just going back to the love, going back to that core, and not trying to find balance from the outside, not seesawing back and forth, but just coming right inside to the very, very center and coming back to the purpose of it all, which, in my personal opinion, is love. So I'd love to hear what you have to say about this. If you feel like it, please leave a comment below. Let me know if this makes sense to you or if this is just like way the hell out in left field. And until next word of the day, until tomorrow, I am wishing you so much peace. I'm wishing you so much ease. And I'm wishing you that deep connection to your own true core. And please pass this message along to other highly sensitive empathic people who might find this useful. Thank you so much for helping me spread the word. And until later, big love.